What's up, sports fans? This is the Lucas Ross Sports Channel. It is time to give you 5 reasons why Ohio State will win the national championship against Notre Dame coming up next Monday night. Yesterday, I gave you 5 reasons why Notre Dame will beat Ohio State in the national championship. Now we're doing the Ohio State Buckeyes. Again, this is not my official prediction. These are just simply 5 reasons why both teams can win the national championship. So basically like 5 keys to the game, and then also like the game plan for both teams to win a national championship. So now we're doing Ohio State. Going to give you 5 reasons why I think the Buckeyes will win the national championship against Notre Dame. So let's go ahead and jump right into it here. 5 reasons why Ohio State will beat Notre Dame in the national championship. And we start here with my number 5 reason, and that is the talent on this Ohio State team. So you look at the talent on this roster, it's pretty much there for Ohio State. It's almost there every single year. You know, both sides of the football, they have plenty of depth on this roster, and they have plenty of guys that can step up, for the first string guys. Talent is really there for them. I get it. Notre Dame also has a very talented team, but Ohio State might have a slight advantage in, talent-wise. So, yeah, Ohio State just definitely has plenty of depth. You look at the offensive line. I mean, they've had so many injuries there, but they've had some, backup players really step up for them. Those are not just backup players. They can step up. I mean, these are like former guys that came out of high school as talented recruits. So, yeah, Ohio State just has plenty of talent, especially at the wide receiver position. That's probably the biggest, talent on that roster and everything. Jeremiah Smith is a great wide receiver, even though he's just a true freshman, but he is definitely one of the best true freshman wide receivers in the country. Then you look at Will Howard, a veteran, experienced quarterback, obviously. That's definitely, a big factor for Ohio State. And then, of course, the defense. This defense has been so good under Ryan Day. I mean, it just takes them a little time to kind of get going. First half, it seems like Ohio State defense kind of struggles, and then they show how talented they are. So the depth on this Ohio State team is there for them. The talent is also there for them. That's pretty much the main reason why I think Ohio State will win the national championship, is just because of the talent on this roster and also how they've been performing here in the last 3 playoff games. And they definitely showed that talent against the Texas Longhorns in the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. So that's my number 5 reason. Let's now move on to number 4. Number 4 reason is the pass rush. So you look at Ohio State's pass rush here throughout the playoff. It's been really good for them. This defensive line, they can get after the quarterback. The secondary, the linebackers can get after the quarterback as well. This is a really good pass rush for Ohio State, and they have shown that pass rush here in the 3 playoff games that they've played. They got pressure on the quarterbacks of, Tennessee, Nico Amaliava, and then, of course, Dylan Gabriel at Oregon. And then they got pressure on Quinn Ewers this past Friday night. So, yeah, the pass rush is really dangerous here for Ohio State. If they can get on Ryan Leonard, if they can pressure him enough in this game, then it's going to be a long night for the Notre Dame offense, to be honest, especially at running the football. That might be the only way that Notre Dame can win this game, is because of their, running game. But, Ohio State's also pretty good at running, actually against the run game. I mean, that's definitely going to be a key factor here for Notre Dame heading into this game. Can they run the football against this Ohio State defense? It's going to be pretty tough. I'm not going to lie. It's going to be very tough to do that, but I just feel like it's going to come down to the pass rush a little bit more for Ohio State. Ryan Leonard doesn't really throw the football that much. I mean, he does run the football, but if they can get pressure on him, if they can force him to go backwards at, throwing the football, then Ohio State might have a chance to probably win this game a lot more, maybe by double digits or maybe lesser points. But yeah, the pass rush for Ohio State has been there for them ever since, that first playoff game against Tennessee. This is just a dangerous pass rush. They got so many explosive guys that can come after the quarterback. So that is my number 4 reason why I think Ohio State could beat Notre Dame here in the national championship. Let's now move on to number 3. Number 3 is obviously the wide receivers. So you look at this receiving group for Ohio State, it's one of the best groups of wide receivers, I believe, in the country. First off, you got Jeremiah Smith, the talented true freshman wide receiver. He's had a really amazing year in his freshman season for the Buckeyes. He's lived up to those expectations. He was so talented coming out of high school. I mean, he was kind of big for a freshman as well. He is really built here for this, kind of game and also this college game as well. He was ready to go here against the Big Ten players, and he has just lived up to those expectations. However, he was not big in that game against Texas. He only had one catch in that game, so he's going to have to definitely have a big kind of game here in this one against Notre Dame's secondary. And I talked about this in the Notre Dame video from yesterday. If Notre Dame's secondary can step up, if they can stop the explosive passing game of Ohio State, then that's how Notre Dame can win it. But if Ohio State converts those big passing plays down the field and the explosiveness of the passing game, then it could be a long night for the secondary of Notre Dame. So these receivers for Ohio State have to be huge, though. I mean, you got Smith, obviously. You got Ibuka, number 2 in the receiving group, and then you also got Tate. However, you got Quayshawn Judkins and Travion Henderson, the 2 running backs that can catch the football. They were kind of like big playmakers in that Cotton Bowl game against Texas, so we'll see if they can step up as well. I don't think Ohio State's going to, run the football that much in this game, because they're just about pretty average at running the football. They're only averaging about over 160 yards in the running game. I mean, they do got some really good running backs, but these receivers, if they can be so explosive in the passing game, then again, it's going to be a long night for the Notre Dame secondary. So that's my number 3 reason why I think Ohio State could win a national championship here with these wide receivers. That's my number 3 reason. Let's now move on to number 2. That is red zone defense. So we talked about the pass rush for Ohio State, but now let's talk about the red zone defense. Ohio State is one of the top defensive teams in the red zone that can stop teams in the red zone. Of course, that kind of, showed it against Texas. Texas had a chance to tie this game up at 21-all, and then, of course, Ohio State made some big-time stops. They had a pass interference called on them on first down. That got Texas to the 1-yard line, and then, of course, the 7-yard loss on the run there for the Longhorns. And then the turnover obviously was the big difference. And, yeah, these linebackers for Ohio State, they can get past, they can get, after the quarterback as well. They can also get after the running back. And this red zone defense is just so good for Ohio State. Again, this is one of the top defensive teams in the country, but this is also one of the top defenses not giving up a touchdown in the red zone. And you look at Ohio State's red zone defense throughout the year, it's kind of shown that, against really good teams. It showed it in the Penn State game. Penn State, remember, they had the football at the 1-yard line. They decide to go for it, from the 1-yard line. They get stopped on a run play. And then also, or actually 3, passing plays, and then it was run play on 4th and go. Of course, that was obviously a big mistake on the coaching staff for Penn State. Nebraska was very close to, scoring against Ohio State in the red zone, but that obviously just really was a different story there. And then, of course, it showed in the Texas game. So if Ohio State can stop Notre Dame in the red zone from scoring a bunch of points, then yeah, Ohio State, if they can probably, settle for, if they can force Notre Dame to force some field goals, then yeah, Notre Dame's defense might be worn out, to be honest, or actually the offense might be a little bit beat up. So yeah, red zone defense going to have to be huge here in this game for the Buckeyes. That's my number 2 reason. And again, this is one of the top red zone defenses here in the country. And then my number 1 reason is obviously the quarterback of Ohio State. That's Will Howard. This is my main reason why I think the Buckeyes will win the national championship. Will Howard is a veteran quarterback. He came over from Kansas State. There was kind of, a little bit of a doubt about him not being really good at quarterback, just about average. But he's definitely better than Kyle McCord from last year. I know Kyle McCord had a pretty good year at Syracuse, but this is just a different story. Will Howard has led this team to the national championship, and he's also led them to some big games. You go back to that Oregon game back in the month of October. After that game, there was so much doubt about Will Howard about being the starting quarterback, but the second half of the year, he has just been so much better. And I know they lost to Michigan, but you look at those playoff games we're talking about, Tennessee, Oregon, in the rematch in the Rose Bowl. Yeah, he's been so consistent throughout the first 2 playoff games. The Texas game was a little bit tough for him, but he made some really good plays, down the stretch here in the final moments, and he also made some good throws. And even with an injury, I think he had a big bump on his hand about the size of a golf ball, and he still continued to play. It just shows you the toughness of Will Howard. Both of these quarterbacks are pretty tough, to be honest. They can both show toughness. Riley Leonard from Notre Dame and, of course, Will Howard from Ohio State. yeah, both of these quarterbacks are going to have to be huge, but Will Howard is definitely the main reason why I think Ohio State can win a national championship, and why I think they can beat Notre Dame as well. So yeah, Will Howard's going to have to have a big game. Same thing with the wide receivers, and then also the pass rush for the Buckeyes as well. Again, I don't think Ohio State will run the football in this game that much. I think they're going to probably pass the football a little bit more, and they'll probably find a weakness there in the secondary for the Fighting Irish. So that's my number one reason why I think Ohio State will win the national championship, is because of Will Howard, the quarterback here for the Buckeyes. So those are my official 5 reasons here why the Buckeyes of Ohio State will beat Notre Dame in the national championship. What do you guys think about these 5 reasons? Let me know down in the comments below. Thanks for watching this video, and stay tuned for more sports content videos on my Lucas Ross Sports YouTube channel.